안녕하세요. All right, I'm going to try it this way today because why not? All right, so this one is the first of the careful English. So this is a little bit different. Let me see. I just like to color. So careful English is not just like weird sayings and like things they mean like the previous ones. This is like words that can have double meanings that you just have to be a little bit careful of. Most of these words, I would say, you can use pretty regularly without it being a problem. But if you're not totally sure how to use it, or if it's a questionable situation, you could end up, and most people will be pretty, forgiving or understanding about it. Most people will ignore it if they hear it. But in case you happen to be around people who, I don't know, like let's say you're teaching a bunch of junior high boys or something, they might snicker. So, which is another way of saying laugh. Snicker. So the first is intimate. I think this is pretty good. So intimate, you can have an intimate conversation between two people. Let's say, I don't know, this guy. And he's talking. So he might be listening too. So we'll give him an ear. Sometimes that's harder. And we'll say this person he's talking to. Because you can see they're so close and they're intimately discussing something. They're close together. It's not like, let's make this person better lipstick. There we go. It's a woman. Give me glasses. So you can have an intimate conversation with somebody, and it just means kind of close, personal. Maybe they're talking about their personal lives. So maybe you wouldn't necessarily use this if you were, I'll give them a little goatee. Why not? Like if you were talking about work stuff, having a work meeting, you wouldn't really say intimate in that setting, but you could have an intimate conversation. You could be talking about personal details. However, it is also a way of saying, so for example, here's what I'll draw. I will draw a do not disturb sign that you would hang. Do not disturb. That goes beyond sign. We'll make the sign bigger. So if you were to say a man and a woman got married, they were intimate, and then a little while later, they had a baby boy. So it's another way of saying that. I'm trying to avoid being crass. There's their baby. It's a very nondescript baby. This is the face. I don't know. Maybe we'll turn that weird little mouth into we'll say it's a pacifier. There you go. Anyway, so that's one meaning of the word intimate. So you wouldn't necessarily use that. So basically, if you're talking, most of the time, people wouldn't suspect you mean this in a setting. However, sometimes as a pickup line, or sometimes people will say, if you'd like to come have an intimate conversation. And sometimes men will use it in a creepy way. So just letting you know so you don't come off being creepy. But like I said, most people pretty understanding, pretty forgiving of that kind of thing, and are not going to assume the worst. Touch. So touch, for the most part, I'm going to draw a hand. So touch is just basically, You know, you can touch something, you can see and touch it. It's drawing that. I don't even know. So we're going to just draw a hand. I don't know what I was doing. Anyway, so touch, usually a safe word. However, it is also the word that when we are specifically talking about, I would say use like the first place I can think of would be with young kids. So when they're in school and you're teaching them kind of like, well, one of the terms we use is stranger danger, like beware of strangers. People make a lot of jokes about it now, but it's an actual, you know, it's important. So we will say when a person touches a child or a person in a place that their bathing suit covers, it is called a no touch. So we use touch in the sense of, or even like describing a crime that was committed that he touched that person. So if you are not sure if that's the best word, some other options, if you're talking about, like, say you're talking about an animal, you could say like pet, or like I pet the dog. Or be specific as far as like, like held a hand instead of touched touched their arm. I touched their back. Like if you give it a specific, like I touched I touched his hand. That's fine. But if you just say I touched him, then it sounds like you're confessing to a inappropriate action. So, like I said, most of the time that one's not going to be a problem. Most people will be able to interpret it, but every now and again, the snickers if you say it the wrong way. Arouse. So this one is a little bit more, how would I put it? Oh, this is on this. So it's becoming more frequent that this is used in a sense that you would be more careful with. You can arouse someone's anger. Like you can, well, let's just make a mad face. He is maybe going to be aggressively corrective in a minute here. He's angry. There we go. So then you can also arouse suspicion. Well, it's not quite the face I was going for, but that's right. Like, I think you're lying to me. I'm suspicious of you. I think you're guilty. I was trying to do like, the eyebrow thing, but anyway, you can arouse suspicion. However, you can use this term to describe what happened before this guy arrived also. But it's like it's what happened before they decided to go to the hotel. So, anyway, don't like to focus too much on them. I don't like this. I hate this about about language, when words start to have more and more the wrong meaning. So if you say them, people think other things. It's annoying. Anyway, come, as long as you know how you're saying it, it's fine. I am coming to your house later. I am coming over. They are coming over. So, I don't know, point A, a house. A little brown roof. I don't know. And then point B. Hold on. Let's draw a little path. And they're going to, I don't know. I have this color. So let's make it a circus. They're going to the circus. They're coming to the circus later. kind of looks like a circus tent. I don't know. Anyway, so come there. However, it is also something, I'm not even going to delve into that. Y'all can Google it if you want to. That takes place before this one arrives. So, this baby. Anyway, so I would advise with the use of come, as much as possible, when you don't leave it hanging at the end of a sentence by itself, not come, not coming, not just, I would say coming, I'm coming over. I'm coming there. I'm coming later. Or, well, that one still could be, I'm coming there soon. I'm coming, or come here as soon as possible, or whatever. You can often use go if possible too. But so, again, just specificity keeps that one from sounding provoking laughter. Anyway, fruit, usually totally fine. This one is more of a, can be insulting, not so much of like the snickering, it can be actually insulting. So most of the time I really do think most people really are looking at your intent and trying to understand, and I'd like to think that anyway. So people usually won't jump to that conclusion, but fruit is a way that people can describe somebody who is of a different sexuality, whether homosexual or whatever. But it kind of, I don't know if it's still used a whole lot or not. But saying fruit or fruity, or that's a little fruity. But one of the reasons I also mention it is sometimes it's not just like be careful of saying it. It's like, why is everybody laughing at something, And making, you can tell when people are trying to say something they're not saying. I don't know, this is supposed to be a banana, but it's like really light colored yellow, so it's hard to see. Here, there's the outline of the banana. I don't know. So it's just one to make sure you're not implying it as a person or using it that way. I just want to try and keep talking long enough to finish drawing some fruit. Anyway, so here's grapes. Bloop. Oop, there's the grape leaves. Anyway, fairy. Fairy. So, for people like me, a fairy will always be, like a little magical being. Because I like fantasy. I like those kind of things. And pointed ears. It's my jam. But it also can be the same as kind of as fruit. It can be referencing somebody being either not being effeminate in a way that's implying they're like homosexual, or it can be used, I don't know, or even just like a sissy, like we would call somebody like a sissy, meaning they're not strong, they're not masculine, they're not tough. You kind of just, so you can say, oh, he's a fairy boy or whatever. I've heard it in a lot of things when they're describing like a fairy, like in a good way. In other, like I think in K-dramas and stuff, I see that. And so, but here it's oftentimes used more to insult someone for a lack of masculinity. But I don't know. I still think fairies are cool. But yeah, I think those are the first ones that come to that I'm willing to draw anything to do with. But I will do another one because there's a whole lot of other words that have double meanings that might not be apparent, and I will do it, but I will try and find a different way so I can just like show the words and options, and then again you can look them up if you're super curious, because some of them I don't even know, and I don't want to know, because some of the ones I found out I was like, ew. So anyways, that's it for this one.